Coach,
Zealand,
thank you for having me.
good, no problem.
And so I've enlisted the help of an actual manager, Coach Rob Dray of Taunton Peacocks, who I love, to decide whether I can be a real manager or not. And there's an important question I have to ask you, which is, do you think I actually could?
You've got potential. But we need to ask you a few questions. I need to know your levels are for English non-league.
It's entirely understandable. We were going to have over 1,000 people here tonight, and that's a lot of pressure coaching in front of them. So we have come up with a test. He is going to ask me managerial parables, first about tactics and then about overall manager situations. I'm going to try and answer him. He's going to keep score in his head, and at the end, he's going to decide whether I could be the next Will Still or not. Do you
It'll
think
be a yes or no.
Well, it's good. Decisiveness.
Absolutely.
I'm taking notes. Do you think football manager would translate at all? I mean, do you know what football manager
Yeah,
is?
I do. Yeah, yes, I do. And yeah, there are things to it that do translate to on the pitch stuff. 100%.
Ooh.
So
Let's do this. Okay, I am ready for the first question.
Tonight we're going to play a 3-5-2.
Okay.
They will play a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2. How are we combating that in and out of possession? What are we doing with our wing backs primarily?
Okay. So they've got a 4-4-2, which means you're going to have one free center back to account for a winger, which means one wing back's probably going to have to track back in order to help account for that. Or the midfield trio is going to have one holding midfielder. So the wing backs could be really aggressive if
Absolutely.
one midfielder is holding. I feel like I'm not failing so far, even though we're really early. I'm getting more optimistic than my SAT. I got too excited and I forgot what I was talking about. So we could have a holding midfielder, the pivot in front of them, and the wingbacks could still be very aggressive, because if you can catch their wingers up, then they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, pretty good. Not far away from it.
Okay.
It's good.
All right, I'm ready. Coach.
Next up,
Number two.
so in-game management is probably the biggest part of my day. We are chasing the game with 20 minutes to go.
Okay.
Do we change our shape? Okay, against the 4-4-1-1. Who do we bring on? Do we go really attacking and make the game a 15, 20-minute game at the end? What are you going to do when we're 1-0 down with 1,000 people here? They need the win to stay up.
Well, if you need the win to stay up, then we have to go for it. The weakness in the straight line midfield that they're deploying in a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 is that getting in between the lines. So you have your wing backs, they're already very aggressive. We need to bring in somebody that can play, in my opinion, behind the two strikers in order to get in between the lines. That forces them to either defend that person, which leaves the deeper passes open into the channels or over the top, or they leave that person, in which case you're 3-on-2 against their back line, so they're probably not going to do that anyways. And your wing backs have to be more aggressive. You have to essentially rely on the back five that you create with the other two midfielders and the three center backs. Obviously, if it gets really late in the game, you probably want to move those wings up, and then you'd want to take one of your center backs out of the midfield or out of the defense and put him more in the midfield.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, I can barely breathe.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
These scenarios are very, very unique to this game tonight.
No,
as well.
and you keep gesturing at the box, and now I see all the people, and I'm feeling it. I'm ready. Okay.
Listen, you're going to come in that dugout with me tonight. It's definitely happening.
I know. Yeah.
It's happening.
Before we get to the next question, how did you get into coaching?
So I played at a lesser standard, and it was a natural progression where replacing the changing room is very difficult. It's the drug. It's the thing that you live off when you're playing, and it's the closest you can get to. It's not it. You're never going to be it. You're never going to be part of that again. You've got to appreciate that when you leave it. But it's as close as you're ever going to get. And I still wanted it. I haven't got an artistic bone in my body, but I can create something. And I've created things, teams, how we play, what we do. And that's the closest I can sort of describe it. And that's how I got into it. And I've been doing it for about 12 years now.
Oh. And you said we were talking earlier, you have your licenses and stuff.
Yeah.
For the uninitiated, me being American, I definitely count as that. What level on the licensing?
So I've got a UEFA B license, okay, got a level 2 and I've got a UEFA B license. Meeks has got his A license, he's another one of the coaches. Connor's got his A license as well. So in effect, they're more qualified than me in terms of coaching. I'm more of a manager as opposed to a coach, and it's quite a different terminology for you guys. Whereas they will coach more, I will manage, oversee everything, and I will manage the day-to-day stuff. I will pick the team, we will all have an input into the team, but I will make the final sound on the team today.
Well, I've only delayed this for so long, so it's time for the next question. I'm ready.
Next question. With 20 minutes to go, we are 1-1. It's a tight game. We get a man sent off. What is your go-to shape? Do we A, consolidate and take the point? Do we B, at home, still go and try for the win?
Well, if I may, what position was the player that got sent off in the 3-5-2?
Centre back.
So, oof. Do we have any subs?
Not many.
Okay. yeah, fair. A couple people out with injury tonight, so probably not bringing in the backup keeper to play center back. Okay, center back got sent off. Bring the wing backs back so that we have a flat back 4. Set that up, and I'm going to play a 4-3-2 because there's a phrase that we use in Football Manager, which is 10-man OP. Because when you go 10, other teams, their eyes, they'll light up, and they go super far forward, and they can get caught.
Okay.
And I think the best way to catch teams is by leaving 2 strikers up, because then you have 2 outlets for passes they can combine with each
100%.
other.
Yeah.
But so bring the wing backs back 4, midfield 3 with no one super aggressive. I'd say you basically have
Flat 3.
Now I'm scared about what I was thinking, but you have like an anchor man who's essentially just he's attached to that back line, and then the other 2 are floating into the spaces to close the ball down. And then if you have the ball, you just outlet into space up top for those 2 guys to chase.
Yeah, good. Good.
And then I get back to the question. The next question that I had on the list for you, something that's totally foreign to me in the United States is that the idea of semi-pro teams and the idea that we're sitting here, the players aren't even here yet. They have to drive in. What is that semi-pro lifestyle like? How is it unique? How is it challenging and maybe rewarding?
Especially at this level now, National League South, it is incredibly hard. The commitment levels are massive. All of our lads will have worked today, all of them. They've all been to work all day. Some on building sites, some in gyms. It's a variety. So they've all done a day's work, and then they're going to come here this evening, and they're going to play to a good level of football today. So these lads have been absolutely fantastic. We've been running on fumes for the last month. And when I say running on fumes, we've had sort of 13, 14 players, which is nowhere near enough for the amount of games we've had. We've been playing a game every 3 days. It's incredibly rewarding. We'll see tonight, and we'll see the community, and we'll see guys like you 2 involved. The profile of the club is going through the roof. So these are the rewarding bits. And we'll see people here tonight. There'll be loads of kids here tonight. It's a lovely spring night in the UK, so hopefully it's a good result.
Yeah, no pressure at all, right?
No pressure.
That's what you're talking about. Okay, I am ready for the 4th question.
Right, 4th question. Weymouth, I know they play tonight, so they're going to play really direct to the left winger, Tom Blair, who's very good aerially. We need to shut that source down, and we also need to win. We're not trying to win the first phase, we need to win the second phase. Primarily, we need to stop it at source. So what information are you going to give our 2 strikers? Because it will come from either right-sided centre-back or it will come from right-sided midfielder. And they like to get a diagonal in. What information are you going to give our 2 strikers and our aggressive attacking midfielders to stop that ball? Because that is going to be one of their major things tonight, offensively.
Right, okay. When you say stop the second phase, you're talking about winning the second ball?
Winning the second ball is going to be from when he wins the first.
Right.
Okay. Stopping it at source is going to be from their centre-back or from their keeper. Well, not so much for the keeper when it comes out into open play. So first phase will be from the centre-back or the midfielder.
Okay, I think if you've got your 4-man square, the 2 strikers and the 2 center midfielders that are like they're attacking, then what you want, so that you can shut the source down as quickly as possible, is your left striker is going to sag off, follow the ball to that right midfielder, and your right striker is going to follow it to the right center back. And then if the ball does come back, that doesn't sound like they're going to play possession, but if it does work its way back, then your right-sided center midfielder, if you want to maintain a press, will be able to spring up, so the square will kind of rotate. But since your strikers are closer, they have a better chance to shut the source down. On the second ball, to not overcomplicate it, don't go up with him.
Absolutely.
Just leave him. American sports analogy, it's like rebounding in basketball. Find a man and get yourself in front of him, and then you can receive the second ball. Because he doesn't sound like Mr. Blair is going to go flying by anybody if he has the ball.
No, he's good in the air. He's quite quick, but
oh well, maybe he might.
But it'll be an aerial thing.
Right. Well, then don't try.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless you're Waddle, maybe you try if you're Waddle.
Yeah. Yeah. He won't want to do it because he'll hurt his teeth.
Oh well, yeah. He does have a great smile, honestly. All right, I feel this. Honestly, it's bizarre, but it feels like I'm playing Football Manager in my mind
in your head,
right now. If that.
Yeah.
Sense.
I get that.
All right. Thanks. How did you end up at Taunton? Because I know that you've been here for 5 years now.
Yeah,
as the coach
coming up 6 years now, but 5 years as the manager. I was at my local town club, which is about 10 miles that way, and the manager at the time asked me if I could come and do a bit of coaching and be involved in the backroom staff, so I came in that way. And then when he left to go to another club, then the club gave me the job, and the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah. So you've been here for 2 promotions. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
From the 8th division to the 6th division. Now in 15th in the table as we're talking right now, which is a terrific result with like 14 players.
Yeah. Listen, this league is incredibly hard. There's some well-established teams in English non-league in this division who should be higher. They have a huge resource centre, much bigger than we will ever have.
Ebbs Fleet. Okay.
Ebbs Fleet. And they're not the only ones, the only ones. Yeah. And they're very good, and it shows. They're fantastic. But the 5-6 years we've had here, most teams would have to wait 20 years. The last 12 months, promotion, FA Cup first round, last 32 of the trophy, we've taken some massive scalps. We've taken some massive scalps. So we've been very fortunate, because football can give you you get over the course of your career, you have a lot more downs, you will highs. There's no doubt about that. But we've been very fortunate here to have a lot of highs, a lot of good times.
What do you think is the most important thing for a manager to have?
In a dishonest world, be as honest as you can. A dishonest game, to a degree, without being over cynical, to be as honest as you can with your players. In this day and age, I think you need to be able to be empathetic. You need to be sympathetic. You need to be strong. You need to be a dad. You need to be a brother. You need to be a friend. You need to be so many things. It's a multiple hat, if you like. So I think that sums it up, roughly.
Right. Just be a good person first.
I think be a good person first, and then eventually that will see you in good stead. Yeah.
I can't delay it any longer. It is time for the final question.
Weymouth have come out the traps really, when I say come out the traps, they've started the game very aggressively. They're playing at a real high tempo. We need to stop that. Okay, we need to slow them down. We need to take the momentum and take the adrenaline. How are we doing that?
So if they've come out really fast, typically what I do in order to get control of the game again is back to front. And so I'm saying this like I've ever done this in real life. This is virtual stuff, right? But if we're the first 20 minutes we get blown away, in order to recapture the momentum of the game, I like to stop their momentum first. So I'll typically bring one player that's usually in an attacking duty to a more defensive role to give us time to catch our breath and figure out what's going on. Because if you go and press more, then you leave yourself exposed to potentially getting run off the field in the game ending in the first 30 minutes. Obviously, the way you ask the question, I feel like you might have a different plan, but that's what I normally do, so I'm going to stick.
I think you're right. A lot of what you're saying is right.
Okay. Wait, hold on. That's usually, there's a but coming.
There's a but. There's a but.
Yeah, there is a but. Okay.
So within those scenarios, there's certain things that you have to do. Your keeper gets it, falls on it. You take your time with every throw. You take your time with every free kick. You slow the game up and manage it as much as you can. The dark arts. The dark arts.
I forgot the dark arts.
The dark arts.
Oh, that might have cost me. Because we're getting to the moment of truth.
It's a moment of truth.
Where a professional manager, someone with licenses who coaches a team to promotions, plural, now gets to decide whether I am capable of being an actual manager at a much lower level than him, at least. Coach Rob.
See you then.
Could I be the next Will Still?
Congratulations.
Yeah! Yes! Let's go! Thank you. And good luck at the game tonight, too.
Thank you.